This lesson is going to be on how to calculate oral drug calculations. And as I have in the past, I'm just going to work out quite a few different problems for you just to make sure that you have plenty of examples that will help you when you're working out these problems in your workbook and doing the required worksheets. So I'm going to start out with this word problem, or this problem right here. It states the physician orders minipress 2 milligrams by mouth 2 times a day for Mr. Shaw's high blood pressure. How many capsules will the nurse administer per dose? And again, let's make sure, I want to point out that I am solving for per dose. Now, he's supposed to have this medication twice a day. This question is not asking you what his daily amount will be. It's simply wanting you to solve for how many capsules you're going to give per dose. It has my drug label here, and I think this is good. I think it's good for you guys to start practicing how to read a drug label. And so my drug label says that there is 1 milligram of minipress per capsule. And my physician has ordered 2 milligrams. Now, you can hopefully figure this out in your head without doing any math whatsoever. If my doctor wants me to give 2 milligrams of a medication and my dose on hand is 1 milligram per capsule, then obviously I'm just going to give 2 capsules, and that will equal the 2 milligrams that my physician ordered. However, for learning purposes, I want you to show your work. You're going to have to show your work on all your problems. And it's good to show your work on these itty-bitty, simple problems. So you learn how to show your work on the ones that maybe you can't just work out in your head and they're a little bit more difficult. So let's work out this simple one. Even though we know we're going to give 2 capsules, let's still go ahead and work it out. So again, I am solving for capsules. So I always set my equation up by first writing what I'm solving for. It helps keep me on track. So I'm solving for capsules. So I just put capsules equals. Now there are 2 different ways where you can set up your equation. You can set it up as a proportion, or you can set it up as a dimensional analysis. Honestly, I prefer dimensional analysis because here towards the end of this lesson, we're going to start working out some problems that take a little bit more math, and it's easiest to do that when you're using dimensional analysis. So I'm going to show you how to do both here in the beginning, but really I think you'll prefer dimensional analysis. So this is the first way I'm going to set it up. Again, I'm solving for capsules. The very first part of my equation is my dose on hand. And we remember that our dose on hand is 1 milligram per capsule. So I'm going to write 1 cap over 1 milligram. That's my dose on hand. I'm going to multiply that by my physician's dose. My physician ordered 2 milligrams to be given. So since I have milligrams as my denominator down here, I'm going to put milligrams as my numerator up here. So physician's ordered dose is 2 milligrams, and then I just put it over 1. We don't know how many caps we're going to give. I just put 1 there. And then you just multiply straight across. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And I know that 2 divided by 1 is 2. So I'm going to give 2 capsules. Again, we knew that just by looking at the problem. This didn't require us to necessarily work out the equation, but I want you to see how simple it is to set this equation up for when you really need to on problems where you can't just rattle off what you're going to give. Now, I will show you how to work this out as a proportion because I know your textbook shows you proportions. So as a proportion, we would set this up. Again, I always write what I'm solving for. And the first proportion I'm going to set up, or I'm going to write down, is my dose on hand. So I'm solving for capsules, and I know that 1 capsule is to 1 milligram as X is to 2 milligrams. So here's your proportion, how you set it up. I set up my dose on hand, and I set up my dose that was ordered. Now you're going to multiply your outers and then your inners. So I'm going to multiply the 1 by the 2, my outers. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then I'm going to multiply my inners. 1 times x is x. So 1x. To get rid of this 1 and x, you have to divide by 1 by both sides. So divided by 1, and you end up getting 2 divided by 1 is 2. So that's two different ways of solving the same problem. Here's using dimensional analysis. Again, this is the one that I would prefer for you to get used to because it's going to be easier later on to work out some of the more difficult, particularly some of the drip rates. It's going to be best to work those out as a dimensional analysis as opposed to proportions. But here's what the book is showing you. Let's do another one. The next one we will do is, let's just do this simple one right here. Says, Mrs. Taylor has a long history of seizures. Elixir of phenobarbital 30 milligrams by mouth every 12 hours is ordered. How many milliliters will the nurse administer per dose? So my physician has ordered 30 milligrams to be given. My dose on hand is 20 milligrams in 5 mLs. So for every 5 milliliters of this elixir, there's 20 milligrams of phenobarbital. And I need to give 30 milligrams total. So here's one that maybe, I can't rattle off and tell you exactly how many milliliters of this elixir I'm going to give. So I do have to use a math equation for this one. So how I will set it up, again, I'm solving for milliliters. So to keep me on track, I'm going to write over here mLs. See if this other pen would be better. And I'm going to put my dose on hand. I know that my dose on hand is 5 mLs, has 20 milligrams. So 5 mL over 20, 5 mL over 20 milligrams. And then I'm going to multiply that times the dose that the physician ordered. The physician ordered 30 milligrams. And I'm just going to put that over 1. So I'll multiply straight across. 5 times 30. 5 times 30 is 150. And 20 times 1 is 1. Or 20 times 1 is 20. So I have 150 over 20, and I'm just going to divide that. So 150 divided by 20 is 7.5 mLs. So that's how I set that up. I'm solving for milliliters. Put this up here. I'm solving for milliliters. My dose on hand is 5 milliliters, has 20 milligrams in it. So 5 mLs over 20 milligrams. My physician has ordered 30 milligrams, so 30 over 1, and then you just multiply straight across. So 5 times 30 was 150. 20 times 1 is 20. I divide 150 by 20, and it gives me 7.5 mLs. Let me show you a proportion one time on this one. So again, you'll be solving for mLs. And with this one, you're going to put 5 mLs is to 20 milligrams as x is to 30 milligrams. I'm going to multiply my outers and then my inners. So multiply my outers and then my inners. And we know that 5 times 30 is 150. 20 times x is 20x. And to get the x by itself, I have to divide 20 by both sides, and it gives me x equals 7.5 mLs. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do... looking here. Let's do number 80 on this one. Okay. A piece of paper. So on this one, it states the physician orders 20 milliequivalents of potassium. KCl means potassium. So the physician orders 20 milliequivalents of potassium elixir by mouth 3 times a day. Our elixir on hand is 15 milliequivalents for every 11.25 mLs, and we want to know how many milliliters we're going to give per dose. So again, to keep me on track, I'm going to put mLs here because I know that's what I want to solve for, and I'm going to put my dose on hand. My dose on hand is 11.25 milliliters. 11.25 milliliters has 15 milliequivalents of the medication in it. 15 milliequivalents. And I'm going to multiply that by my physician's dose. The physician wants me to give 20 milliequivalents per each dose. So 20 milliequivalents. And again, I'm just going to put that over 1. I'm going to multiply straight across. So I'm going to take 11.25 times 20, and that gives me 225. 15 times 1 is 15. And then I'm going to divide 225 by 15, and it gives me 15. So my answer would be 15 mLs. Okay? Very simple. Let's do one more of these that are pretty basic. We'll do 99 on this one. Okay. So this one is a patient receives potassium elixir, 30 milliequivalents, by mouth 3 times a day with juice. The potassium comes in 6.7 milliequivalents per 5 mLs, and we want to know how many mLs we're going to administer per dose. Again, I don't know about you, but I can't just look at this and know exactly how many mLs I'm going to give. So I have to set up an equation. I am solving for milliliters, and my dose on hand is 5 milliliters in 6.7 milliequivalents of the potassium. So 6.7 milliequivalents. I'm going to multiply that by the physician's order, and the physician ordered 30 milliequivalents. So 30 milliequivalents, again, over 1. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 30. That gives me 150. And 6.7 times 1 is 6.7. Now I'm going to take 150 and divide it by 6.7. So 150 divided by 6.7, and it gives you a weird number. It gives you 22.3880597. Since the dose on hand is taken to the 10th place, we will take our dose that we're going to administer to the 10th place. And so 22.38, I'm going to round that to 22.4. It would be very difficult, probably impossible, to give 22.38 of something. And so I'm just going to round that 0.38 to 4.4. And so of this medication that comes in 6.7 milliequivalents per 5 mLs, I am going to give 22.4 mLs to equal 30 milliequivalents. Okay? So those are pretty simple. Now I'm going to work out a few problems that takes just an extra step of math. Let me find them. Okay, here's a good one. So this problem here, the scenario states, Mr. Clay receives tetracycline 0.5 grams PO 4 times a day for gastrointestinal infection. how many capsules will the nurse administer per dose? Here is my medication label, and it states that there are 500 milligrams per capsule. So please note that my physician's order is in grams, but my medication is in milligrams. So you're going to have to pull out that conversion guide you have, and we're going to have to add a little conversion to this. So, get some paper here. I am solving for capsules, so I'm going to write capsules here. And my dose on hand is 500 milligrams per capsule. So just like we did in the past, one capsule is or has 500 milligrams. The next fraction that I'm going to set up or write down is my conversion. Again, my dose is in milligrams. I'm going to have to just convert that to grams so I know exactly how much of this medication equals 0.5 grams because that's what the doctor's ordered. So here you're just going to put a little conversion, and it's very simple. I have milligrams. I've got to convert to grams. I know that there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So I'm going to put 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. And I set it up like this, again, because I have milligrams as my denominator down here. I have to have milligrams as my numerator up here. And then I'm going to multiply that simply by my physician's order. And I know that my physician ordered 0.5 grams. So 0.5 grams. And again, I'm just going to put that over 1. And now I just multiply straight across. So I know that 1,000 times 0.5, I think it's 500 times... Oh, whoops. Yes, it's 500. So multiply across 1,000 times 0.5 is 500. 500 times 1 is 500. Divide 500 by 500 and it's 1. 1 capsule. So again, very simple. You just have to add a little conversion equation in there, in the middle. So we have it really essentially set up just like we had in the past. I have my dose on hand. 1 capsule has 500 milligrams, and I have my physician's order over here. I just had to add a little middleman in there so I could convert milligrams to grams. And then you just multiply straight across like you always do and divide at the end, and there's your answer. So let's do another one just to make sure you have it straight. Here's one. Okay. So on this one, I would drive me crazy if that wasn't straight. All right, the physician orders ampicillin 1 gram every 6 hours for treatment of shingles. How many capsules will the nurse administer? So my dose on hand is in milligrams. My physician ordered grams. So I'm going to have to throw that little conversion band in the middle to figure out my dosage. I'm solving for capsules. My dose on hand is 1 cap equals 250 milligrams. I've got to convert, so I'm converting milligrams to grams, so I'm going to put milligrams up here first. And 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. And now I'm just going to add my physician's order. My physician ordered 1 gram. And now multiply straight across. So 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. 250 times 1 is 250, and 1,000 divided by 250 is 4. So your answer is 4 capsules. Okay. Number 4 is also one that we have to convert. Bring this up here. So this one states The physician prescribes Allegra 60 milligrams 2 times a day for your patient's complaints of allergic rhinitis. You have 0.03 gram tablets available. How many tablets are you going to give? So the doctor ordered it in milligrams, and this time our dose on hand is in grams, so we're just switching a little bit. But I'm solving for tablets. My dose on hand is 1 tablet equals 0.03 grams. So I know that there is 1 gram in 1,000 milligrams. So since I have grams down here, I have to put grams up here. So 1 gram has 1,000 milligrams. And then over here, I'm just going to simply put what my physician has ordered. And my physician ordered 60 milligrams. So 60 milligrams over 1. Just do your math. 60 times 1 is 60. And 1,000 times 0.03 is 30. So 60 divided by 30 is 2. Okay. Simple, simple, simple. Just have to add that little extra math step in there. Again, I just want to point out to make sure that you get these correctly, it's all about setting that equation up correctly. So I have my dose on hand here. Make sure when you're setting up this little middleman conversion, if you have grams down here, you have grams up here. And then you'll notice my milligrams are here, my milligrams are up there. So it's kind of diagonal from each other. Should not be straight across, it should be diagonal. Okay, let's do one more. Let me find it. 22 is a good one. Okay, on 22 it says Mrs. Martin is prescribed Tofranil PM 0.225 grams PO at bedtime for depression. How many capsules are you going to give? Well, my dose on hand is in milligrams. It says 75 milligrams per capsule, and my physician ordered it in grams, 0.225 grams of Tofranil. So I'm going to, again, I'm solving for capsules, so I'm going to write capsules here. And my dose on hand is 1 cap has 75 milligrams in it. Since I am converting milligrams to grams, I need to put my little conversion equation here. So I know that 1,000 milligrams is in 1 gram. And now I'm going to multiply that by my physician's order. My physician ordered 0.225 grams of the Tofranil. 0.225 grams over 1. I'm going to multiply 1,000 by 0.225, so 1,000 times 0.225. That gives me 225. And I'm going to multiply 75 by 1. So here's 75. And I believe it's 3, So when I take 225 and divide it by 75, it gives me 3 capsules. So I'm going to give 3 capsules of the medication. So still very, very simple. Just make sure that you add that little conversion man in there when you're going from one dosage to another. When you're going from grams to milligrams or grains to, sometimes you'll have to convert it from grains to milligrams. Just put the correct conversion in there and set it up correctly. If I have whatever system I'm using here, I need to use the same one up here. So since I use milligrams here, diagonal to the top, I need to use milligrams there. I have grams here, I have grams here. So your numerators and denominators kind of need to be opposite of each other. Anyway, work these problems out in your workbook, and then if you have any questions, make sure you just give me a call or email, and I'd be more than happy to help you. Good luck.